How are we doing, people? A wee sound. What's happening here? That's working. Why is that all changed? Something's changed. What's going on? That's not the way it usually looks. Hello, everybody in the chat box, people watching. So I know that where I'm going to start. I know that Nick Phuket Words already had a run through of this, but I'm just going to do my wee run through because it's a huge aspect of this is looking at the behaviours, the patterns of behaviour, and see if we can see any logic or rationale behind some of the behaviours that we look at. It's a real eye-opener in the aspects of, you know, finding out and establishing who's trying to perpetuate agendas, who the liars, the deceivers are, and their behaviour, their walk will display it easily. So I just want to get my wee bit in regards to this and have a listen to what the guys got to say. Then we'll just take it through that. Well, you know, obviously, I'll start again from science before we even get to this character. So, the sciences have got subdivisions. You know, I'm sure there's many of you have heard this from me so many times before, but if new people come across any of this content, you know, the majority are probably going to click the latest upload. And I think it's usually important that people hear these aspects before they go any further. So when we're talking about science, there's subdivisions of the sciences. Okay, the sciences that we're interested in are the natural sciences because we're looking at the world, the objective reality, not anything man-made, the world as we find it, the substances that we find in it, and their relationships to each other and their own individual behaviours and attributes. So when we're talking about the earth, it's earth sciences, we're looking for the natural sciences. When claims from men are being made, you have to whittle down what is actually being professed or claimed to you. Now, the fundamental of any man or woman's claim in regards to the objective world is practicality. Can they demonstrate? Can they measure? Okay. Now, there's a huge difference between that and just viewing the world through your eyes or with a camera or whatever. Okay. So we're not interested in what people see purely from that point of seeing. That is not quantifiable. It's not quantifying anything. It proves nothing. The aspects of viewing have to be looked at in regards to what the viewing instruments are, how they operate, and how you factor that into your observations. Now, to give you an example, if I wanted to have an observation over a body of water, my first principle, my first base understanding before I set out for that observation is that I know and understand the properties and the behaviours of the substance known as water. I know that from the point I stand at to the other landmass or whatever is beyond, that the water is at the same elevation the whole way. Any standing body of water, once it's settled, will give you an equal plane. There may be disturbances upon the surface, waves, whatever you like, swells, but the whole body, the body as a whole, from one point to the other, is level. Okay? Now that's level, the definition of level taken from the objective world. Right? So before I go and I take my camera and I try and look for anything, I understand that first. Then when you're getting into the observation, you're looking at optical phenomena. And there is no exacting science that I have come across in regards to vision and the optical phenomena, i.e. the way we view the world. Two totally different things. I've made this point many times before, but to keep it simple for anybody new who may come across this so that you understand what I mean. Go outside right now, identify something in the distance, now measure it, just with your eyes. It's impossible. Okay? The tangible world is a plane. We use that geometry in every aspect of our lives in the practical world. Okay? So when we're separating the sciences, this is what we're talking about. Okay? I'm not talking about mathematical concepts, which is a formal science, a language. Okay? I'm talking about the tangible, real world sciences, the sciences of substance and how they behave. Now, regardless of what somebody shows you on a TV screen, that does not trump a known physical substance. The physical substance is where you start. Now, if an image on a TV screen is contradicting the physical substance, you remove the image is false, the image is fake. So in this regard, talking about the globe, you know that they're not going to space and that the images that they depict to you are fake. You don't have to look for fakery in their footage, although you can. An understanding of the physical world will tell you that it's fake. There is no curvature to the earth. The earth is demonstrably level. So, people really need to understand the difference in the geometries of the visible world and the tangible world. They are two different things. You will see sneaky manoeuvres from the globe cult disciples who will take sneaky images and then misrepresent it on side view profiles of a tangible world. Now, a side profile view of a tangible world is not the same as a straight out view, an optical view of the world. They are two different geometries. The globe is based on your vision, not on the tangible world. That is why the globe relies on sophistry, red herrings, and images. Okay? I don't need any of that to demonstrate something objectively true in the world. I can show you it by way of practicality. No language involved, no complexity, no mental gymnastics. A simple demonstration. So that's the standard that people like myself go by, and this is just a wee precursor, a wee setting up of who we are and how people like me operate before we get to this dude and his nonsense. Because what I heard is just that, it's total nonsense. Now we'll reflect on what this guy says and we'll compare it to what people like myself have actually experienced and where we're actually coming from, and we'll see again who the narcissistic, cult, zealot people are. Because it's certainly not me. Anyway, before I get there, how you doing, people? Josie Gonzalez, Spherical Cow, Stephen Watson, Levi Foster, Robert Matthews, Flat World Logic, Level World, how you doing? Alaskan Game Star, how you doing? Nomad Flatter, Jay Savoy, Amber Davis, oops, Eagle Plane and Anchor. The only explanation for anybody to ever have arrived at the conclusion that we live in a globe is that they made an ad hoc hypothesis after ad hoc hypothesis. Exactly. So referring back to what I was saying, you know, if you look at the globe and you tear it apart and you listen to all the nonsense they offer you, they don't offer you any actual measurable proof of a globe. It's all anecdotal nonsense, stories, sophistry. Look straight out in front of you and you'll see things curving over the earth, the curvature of the earth. That's not what's happening. But again, they're playing on optical phenomena. You'll never see a globe disciple defender offering any actual science in regards to observations because they can't. They will ignore and laugh at people who commit to their world and say bodies of water don't have the ability to bend. You can't have slopes without water flowing. You can't bend a body of water and maintain the bend and display that on the surface of the water. That's patently absurd. But the confusion comes because of the images on a TV screen. So if you have the ability to separate the visible world and the tangible world, you will see clearly what they have done. Look at how we navigate. Look at an astrolabe. Look at a sextant. Look at what they call the celestial sphere. And you will see they are showing you in their depictions what they're talking about. If I'm between two parallels that expand and I am tiny in comparison, okay, I am now viewing between these two parallels with a spherical lens, spherical eyeball, curved lens. Okay. Now from any point that I'm standing at between these two parallels, there's an optical effect that happens where the sky curves downwards and the floor rises up, and it's the same 360. So if you look at it, what you will see is when you're standing at the centre of that, you're standing at the centre of an oblate spheroid, something that looks like a flying saucer. This is where they get all this oblate spheroid curvature bollocks. It's based on our perception, our vision, how we perceive the world. Now go and look at the instrumentation. The instrumentation, like an astrolabe, a sextant, are tools, are planar tools. They are tools that calibrate to the level being the earth and the water beneath your feet. Look at a star navigation map, two-dimensional, plane. Okay? Now, as I say, at every point, you're walking about in your oblate spheroid. In every direction you go, you're carrying your oblate spheroid with you. So where your oblate spheroid ends, if you're going in that direction, that end starts to open up and become wider, giving you a wider field of view as you move in that direction. That's what the globe has played on. Again, you see it in the instrumentation if you understand what they're actually saying and showing you. And then look at their arguments, because that's all they have for a globe. It's based on vision, without any actual measurement, without any practicality. But the real world, the real practical world of everyday life, the 3D world that we move around in, that we use all our senses to accumulate an understanding, is planar, demonstrably, fact, no way to escape it. You can only deny it. The globe will continually misrepresent and mix up the geometries in order to confuse people, because it's a dishonest cult. It does not represent objective science in any way, shape or form. It is a religion. I know from experience, because I was part of that religion. I was a blind, ignorant disciple until I snapped out of it. And that's what's required. Intellectual honesty from people. A willingness to suspend their own bias, to try and break their own bias, falsify their own bias. And if they set out like that, that's what they will achieve. Because it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. So again, before we get into this, it's my understanding that people like myself minded my own business. I was in the pursuit of finding and asking questions about my objective reality, only to be met by zealotry, obsessive, stalker-like behaviour for 4 years now. continually appealing to anybody who is professing to be interested in objective science to quit with the dichotomy games, to quit with the ideas of debate, to quit confusing people, to step up to the mark, to show their integrity, their intellectual honesty, and to pursue this question and bring it out into the light, out into the open for the majority to sift through. This can be put to bed. There are many, many people in all walks of life who could be contributing to this. But we have cult zealotry trying to compartmentalise it, trying to contain it. Through the mainstream media, we see nothing but illogical drivel and ridicule. All the signs of liars. If something's the truth, it does not require somebody to defend it in debate or to ridicule opposition or question to it. But we have seen an abundance of these very attributes and behaviours. I have it documented for the whole time I've been here. From the behaviours and the antics from Facebook to what we've had to put up with here. Pursuing my own understanding, minding my own fucking business. But the cult doesn't want that. So remember these things before we listen to Mr. Smarty Pants, who will be coming up in just a wee second. Before I get to that, again, I speak about these people and these game players and how, gone and gut intuition is not enough if you want to display to other people the illogical, obvious deception in people's games and what they're up to. So you have to give them rope, you have to wait, you have to bide your time, and eventually they will display it. So the character I'm just about to speak about is known as Russian Vids. So what I'm going to highlight here, bear with me a wee second. So I've seen this type of behaviour many times before. Remember, you've got people on both sides of the false dichotomy playing games, okay, to try and confuse and tear people, pull them from pillar to post. And this character's displayed it. So now you know what he's all about. So I'll read this out to you and we'll break it down and we'll have a look at what this actually is saying to you. Good solid chat, boys, but nothing really new brought to the table. Every time I come in, I make sure I bring a new topic of discussion like I did last time, such as comets or asteroids predicted to hit a moving 500,000 miles per hour spinning water ball rocketing through space. Things ballers never consider. So you've got this person now who's trying to assume hierarchy and ownership over a platform that's not his. He has his own platform. He has plenty of opportunity to present whatever he wants to present. This again is another sign of narcissistic behaviour, where this guy thinks he's entitled to overrun my platform and how I lay things out and what I discuss. Asteroids, things in space, things in the sky have got absolutely nothing to do with establishing the dimensions of the earth that we are upon. Nothing. So you're no bringing anything new. This has been established and spoken about an immense amount of times over and over again. So right away, you're talking shite, sonny boy. You don't bring anything new. Your latest upload, this is the type of nonsense this character perpetuates. Weak-minded idiocy from a point of judging at a subjective level, as if it is some sort of relevance to anybody. All it does is breed nosy fuckers, more narcissists who think they've got the right to dictate to other people how they should and shouldn't behave. So his latest upload was about Metallica. Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield are gay. And? Your point is? What use is that to anybody? Again, this character comes from a point of judging people as if he has the keys to the objective truth of our existence, that he is aligned with the creator or the God, whatever's in his delusional mind, and he thinks he knows how people should and shouldn't behave. I don't care if Lars Ulrich has 25 cocks and 4 arseholes. And I don't care if James Hetfield has 29 cocks, 4 arseholes and a pussy. And I don't care if the two of them engage in sticking each other's many amounts of cocks in each other's holes 12 hours a day, every day. I do not give a monkey's fuck. What I give a fuck about is the music that they give me, because that's what I'm interested in. That's their product. Who they are and what they get up to in their own subjective personal privacy is of none of my fucking concern or business. But Russian Vids here thinks that it's important. He's a busybody. He thinks he's got the right to stick his fucking beak in and then spread that to other people as if it's got some sort of relevance. What the fuck has that got to do with your situation? Is that empowering people? Or is it perpetuating, just as I've highlighted, judgment from a subjective level, which nobody has grounds to stand upon, that only brings wars, that only breaks communication? Nobody should be judging anybody at a subjective level. You don't have any place. You're an irrational, illogical, emotionally inept, retarded imbecile, if that's how you operate. So moving on. This is Russian Vids again. The point is simple, you bean brain. He's talking to somebody here. Destroy the ball earth lie at every level. Dale does it by water alone. I do it at every level. So now what he's trying to do is probably sway people who come here that he's more relevant, more important. Well, that's what he's saying. It's a competition to him. I'm not interested in a pissing contest. I'm only interested in the truth and empowering people. It's a more well-rounded approach. Like a fight, you don't want to have a single weapon. You want multiple. Dell is painting himself into a corner by doing it on water alone. Now he's starting to sound like ball earthers. Although there's an never-ending amount of backlog there that shows you that we have covered every aspect from the fundamentals. I've never seen any of that for him. That came from here. Understanding the language, the separation of the sciences, removing red herrings and fallacious reasoning and bullshit that's being brought on every fucking level. I don't see that when I go to his channel. I see, oh, he done that, therefore something, and yeah, he's gay, and that's a tranny, and Though I do agree water is where it's at. I destroy the ball earth at every level. No, you don't, son. You don't have a fucking clue. You're a moron. You're an absolute moron. And you make it worse with, oh yeah, he's gay and he's shagging him, her, and he's got balls and he's got balls and a fanny. And he's got 2 arses and he's got 4 nipples and his hair's pink and that means Illuminati. That's not very bright, is it, son? You're just a wee bitch. Nothing other than that. Just simply a delusional, narcissistic, needy little bitch. By the way, don't try and be a Dell clone. You sound lame. So now he's now pushing this. It's like they're trying to give this idea that I'm a cult. Yeah, again, he's meant to be a well-researched guy. Does he understand what a cult actually is? Do I look like a fucking organisation? Do I have a church? Huh? Do I congregate with my disciples? No, I fucking bloody well don't. If something's objectively true and people realise that and they speak it, that's no cult behaviour. That's understanding and representing the objective facts of our reality. But people like him want to make you ashamed of it. Ask yourself why. This page is getting really annoying. A bunch of Dell cult followers. Nothing original, just clones. Well, Mr. Faceless Potato, who nobody's ever seen, who spews illogical drivel and tries to keep people in a weak, disempowered state of mind, passing subjective judgment on others. You, sonny boy, have exposed yourself. I knew it was only a matter of time. Keep feeding you the rope, son. You still don't get it, do you? Pointing out how ridiculous their claims are, that's been done a millionfold here, over and over again, every fucking aspect here. Torn apart, destroyed. That never came from you Russian vids. That came from here. Knew you want ownership here, because you're involved in pissing contests and want more subscribers and likes and all that nonsense. You're a fud. Talking about water alone is not enough. It is enough. Water alone is enough to destroy the idiocy that is the globe. But there is other aspects here, again, that have been pointed out here many, many times, at great depth. Nothing that you ever offered, none of it ever came for you. No, that it's a contest for me. It's just a fucking fact, son. Why don't you point out to Dell when he states the metaphysical potato rock travelling through the vacuum of space? He states just about every podcast. I guess it's perfectly fine since your cult leader says it. But I don't even know what you're trying to say here. I have absolutely no clue what the fuck point you are trying to make. That's my comical spin on the globe Earth. Never question your cult leader. As a cult follows philosophy, what wonderful philosophy, bang, 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 blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, son. Bullshit. And then he's got an arse licker in here. He's talking about cult behaviour and he's got some other fucking spoof account arse licking him. Thank you. Bellnet444, thank you. By the way, to me it's official. The majority of Dell's followers are cult members, so here we go. Here he is. This is the narrative that Fanny Balls here is in to try and sow. Mr. Faceless dick breath that spews illogical pish at people to disempower them. I am scolding you, son, because you've exposed yourself. I'm just pointing out. You don't have a fucking leg to stand on, wee man. Leading people astray towards something they cannot verify or falsify, end quote, was a quote. Are you talking about Dell's metaphysical potato rock travelling through the vacuum of space? What are you talking about, metaphysical potato rock? That's their claim. You fucking idiot. He doesn't even understand what the globe claim actually is. They claim it's a fucking rock, pressurised flying through a vacuum. You utter moron. You don't have a fucking clue, son, because you're not really interested in truth. You're not interested in digging into anything. Your job is just to keep people in fucking bewilderment. And the victim, messiah, saviour, complex. Oh, poor me, I'm subject to the big high powers and point at them and hang them in the street. Poor me, I'm a mad narcissist. So again, you know, you came on the last time talking about how people don't bring these things up. I've never heard this fucking cock end ever saying any of this to me. Where's it come from? I told him to show face. And I mean show face. Show me your face, you wee prick. Look into my fucking eyes, you deceitful, weak, little fucking gimp. That's all you are. It's the same thing, Dale, over and over. Nothing new, water, water, water. There's been loads. Every fucking aspect has been covered again. Are you that fucking thick that you don't think people know? Huh? Is it just because this is your job, you wee fanny? And now, again, this is what I'm saying about things all under the surface, where dick breath doesn't speak his mind. You never bring anything new to the table, and I'm not like you. This is my platform, you fucking narcissistic fandan. Nobody invited you. Nobody asked you here. You've got your own platform. But here you're poking your nose in like a little fucking busybody. A wee bitch. A bitch, son. That's what you are. Nothing but a fucking bitch. A mouth-breathing child that can't control his emotions. What's my emotions got to do with any of this? Emotive expression on a media platform, you fucking absolute ponce. Who I am in reality is who I am in reality. What I display on here is what I choose to display. Okay, cunt? Intelligence that you don't understand because you're not capable. And now he's going on, your shed rage was funny at first, but now it's pretty sad and pathetic. Fuck off then! Toodaloo, fuck all the way off. You're no wanted, you're no invited, nobody's forcing you to be here. But now you want to sow things in people's minds because you're a manipulative little snake. And I see you, and so does other people see you. Fuckle. I won't talk about 33 and he shags him and all that because you're just a wee sweetie wife. No a man, no anything to offer anybody. A delusional, deceitful, little fucking cunt. What's metaphysical about a potato rock travelling through a vacuum? Huh? You fucking idiot. That's their claim. Are you fucking stupid? Who made you the authority of flat earth? Nobody. Who said I was the authority? I'm here on my own platform, as always I always have been. No stick my nose into yours or anybody else's. This is all projection from cunty flaps here. Look at the walk. And now it's mere competition. I was making videos and flip where you were still a Globe Cup member. No, you weren't, fucking son. You were nowhere to be seen at the beginning when I started doing this. Stop telling lies. And what were you offering? Fuck all. I dug in. I figured out the majority of it. I made a difference. You fucking didn't. I've heard Section 33 for fucking 20 years. Never got me anywhere. And now he's telling me advice. Again, he's on the high ground. Stop smoking cigarettes and all that stuff. Fuck off. You wee controlling needy prick. You're weak, son. Your psychology is weak. You're used to gullibles licking your ass. No me. You're just a fucking fanny to me. An irrelevant little pie. Once I've dealt with you here, I don't give a fuck about you. Never have, never will. You're a nobody, a voice, an illogical bitch with a voice. You're going to have lung cancer or stroke before you reach 50 years old. Take responsibility for yourself and your family. Cheers. Oh, thank you, Messiah. Is the game new to live as long as you can? Can you lay out the reasons why you have to live as long as you can? Since you've got the objective knowing of our existence and what we're here for and what we should and shouldn't do and all that stuff, could you come and impart your wisdom on us? Tony Smith, Russian vids, you have exposed your true shilly self. Are you still claiming Bill Hicks is Alex Jones? Haha, fucking nonsense. Exactly. People see him. It's just a fucking absolute moron. Tasty Wheat, you're here every week spouting bollocks. We all know you're a faceless, deceitful piece of internet garbage. We've all heard what you've got to say. We're all cult members and Dale's a cult leader, yet you want to be here with us every week. Exactly. So again, this is good because it's part of this psychology talk of looking at the walk of people, right, and seeing if it adds up. This is my platform. This is me. This is where I present me. No his. Go and have a look through his stuff and see if you see me passing judgment on him at a subjective level or sticking my nose into his business. This is the types of characters that you need to oust. This is the types of characters that you've met in your direct life. You know this type of character. They bring you nothing but confusion, heartache, pain, lies. Shambles. Anyway. So. It's going on here in the chat box about me making this personal. I've not made any of this personal. It's all there. I've just read it out. Passing judgment at a personal subjective level is what Fanny Balls there has done. But yet he's still there trying to confuse people further by acting the victim and acting innocent. No get the ability to rationalise and reason and accept responsibility. Deceitful, more deceit on display. Keep it up, son. Keep it coming. All it's doing cementing your feet. Okay? You're sinking yourself, my man. I love it. You're no smart enough. I am. I can pull people at you apart with my eyes shut. In my sleep. Because you're just no bright enough. So don't talk about making things personal. You brought it to me. Stop acting your victim now. You've been rumbled. Game over. Ta-ta. Fuck off. I know he's been caught out in other places, but you know, here at my business here, I play it my way and I give them rope. Okay? Because when you know they're deceitful and they're liars and you keep feeding them rope, eventually they'll give you the material that you require. Anyway, let's move on from the irrelevance that is Russian vids I discourage anybody from paying this cunt any attention, because he's just a rambling idiot. So, with all that in mind, let's move on, shall we? So what I'm going to do, let me see what happens here when I share this. Let me see, window capture. Yes, that's perfect. So as I say, I know Nick already done his analysis in this, so I'm not stepping on any toes, Nick. I just like to respond to these things myself and give my own narration, if you like. So again, people check out Phuket Words channel and the work that he's got to offer. He's already done narration on this guy, but as I say, I just want to take it for myself and offer what I see and hear. So while I'm here, before I come back, wait a minute, I'm just going to stop that just now. I'm going to make my 7,998th roll up of the day, because apparently I smoke 10,000 a day. And I shouldn't, because the whole goal of life is to stay alive as long as you can, so that you can prolong this for whatever reason that's unbeknownst to me. Again, another aspect that we should have a discussion about, and why we get these narratives of survival and we need to keep surviving and blah blah blah. Well, you have to look at what the assumptions are of people who say that, because they're obviously assuming they know what the game of life's about. I think some people think that they're going to cheat it and that you're going to live forever. I have to question anybody who'd want to live forever in this abomination. There's something wrong with your wiring, from my point of view. Exactly, Gav. Exactly, mate. I wasn't sure if you were about, if you wanted to join in on this. I'm just going to play through this. I think some guy professing he's a psychologist and he's given the flat earth movement and its characters their place or something. I don't fucking know. That's all the uptime other day. Emerald Rider. Constantly appeal to emotion. Playing the victim. The poor me's. And all that stuffs. Are easy to spot. Exactly, Traumatic. Totally agree. So, right, let's over here. Let's listen to what this character's going to say. Dr. Todd Grande. This is for analytical purposes, copyright stuffs and all that shite. Don't own any of this, guys. This is just an honest response. Nothing personal, Mr. Todd Grande. I'm just going to have a listen to your content and speak back to you. Okay?
Insider look at mental health topics. If you find this video to be interesting or helpful,
again, this is part of the social sciences, not exacting, right? Just human beings trying to make sense of the subjective world. Right?
Please like it and subscribe to my channel. This is Dr. Grande. Today I wanted to answer a question that I received about the flat earth movement and what
movement? What do you mean by flat earth movement? This is again, generalising. Another antic of illogical people. So Mr. Psychologist here, right away off the bat, is displaying his illogic. Okay? Generalising. There's an array, an abundance of many different types of people involved in this whole question. There's an array and many types of different people in the world. Who is he and where does he get the right to generalise and lump everybody under one umbrella? I'll tell you where. From mainstream narrative, from the narrative of ridicule and deceit. So right away, we can see you, son.
possible personality profile might we see associated with it, or mental health symptoms.
So right off the bat again, he's already taken the higher ground that anybody involved in ever questioning anything about the world, they must have some sort of affliction. They must have some sort of instability. I'm no unstable, son. I would meet you in person and make you greet and expose you for the weakness that you are. Okay, because you don't have a fucking clue, son. You don't have a clue about me, my internal workings, or anybody else for that matter. You are another busybody.
So in case you don't know, the Flat Earth Movement, this is a group that believes that the Earth is flat.
I'm not a group of anybody. I am me, an individual, singular. And I don't believe anything. I have no beliefs. Beliefs are for morons like you. Weak, illogical clingies who require comfort blankets. That's what beliefs are. Substitutes. Like a nipple for you to suckle on in your manhood. Because you're so scared and afraid to stand up for yourself.
As opposed to spherical. And this isn't something that they're doing just to be funny or to kind of mix things up. Many of the members of this group actually believe.
Members denotes that I've signed up and that I've got a membership card, like my gym. I'm a member of my gym because I signed up. Can you show me where the registration form is to become a globe denier? Do you have that, mate? Do you have the signed registry of all the members? No, you fucking well don't. No, you're just making shit up. There isn't any members. There may be members of certain factions who sign up. That applies to them, not to people like me.
Believe the Earth is flat. So there's
I don't believe anything. The Earth is demonstrably a level plane.
a real conviction here in terms of belief. This is something that...
No, it's not a conviction to your belief. It's a conviction to the objective reality that we all share. Now, if you took yourself out of that fucking wee room and had a real, intellectually honest dig at it, and spoke to real people instead of listening to fucking propaganda and generalising and cherry picking to protect your own faulty religious bias, you would get somewhere. You'd probably get respect from people like me. And right now, I'm only 46 seconds in, and I have absolutely zero respect for you on the content you've offered. Not at a personal level, don't know you at a personal level. So let's not act the victim.
They actually believe. Now, first, it's important to point out here that I can't and won't diagnose anybody who's not my client. So really here I'm just speculating about what we might see in terms of personality or mental health symptoms with
Speculation, another anti-cover globe disciple.
some people that have this belief. There could be people that are members of that movement who have no mental health disorders and have a personality profile that's...
Define mental health disorder. Where is your objective truths, your bar that you're judging everybody on from your subjective point of view? Is it just a standard that you've arbitrarily grabbed from anywhere because of the idea that you call civilization and society, and that's where you start judging people from an idea?
Within normal limits, whatever normal is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
from within normal limits, whatever normal is, exactly. So right there again, he's admitted he doesn't have anything because he doesn't know what normal even means. Because in order to say something's normal, you would have to again have the objective view of what our existence is and what we are expected to be or what we should be or whatever. As far as I'm aware, Fanny Balls here was born into the very same situation as you and I. So where does he get his grounds to stand on? I'll tell you where. From fucking nowhere. The delusional ideas and concepts in his wee pea brain. That's where he gets them.
an important place to start. Something else I find interesting about this movement is, one of the curiosities here, is I didn't even know before I heard about this that there was debate over whether the Earth was flat or spherical.
There isn't a debate, son. Objective reality is singular. It's not an idea or a concept to be won or lost through debate. What are you talking about? Why are you not turning your attention to the behaviours of the globe cult? Do you understand that the majority of people are under the hypnotic trance of a globe cult belief that their behaviours emanate and stem from? Eh? Have you looked at the depravity, the corruption that goes on in the world? Eh? And traced where that emanates from? Eh? You ever thought about that? No, you haven't.
I didn't know this was a thing. Usually when you hear about
It's always been a thing, son. You're not very well researched, are you? It's always been a thing. The reason it's always been a thing is because the globe is a concept. It can't be empirically proven. Because it's an idea. Extrapolated from our vision. How we view the world. No a tangible, measurable 3D object. A concept. So unless you're a religious zealot that seeks bias, you would realise that. But a religious zealot who seeks bias doesn't want to understand that it's just a concept, fails to recognise that that's the reason why people reject it. And now he's in confusion with himself because he thinks his delusion's real and he can't figure out how anybody would ever question it because he's never questioned his own delusion. So that's where his conflict comes.
Some would call a conspiracy theory. It's about something...
It's nothing to do with theories, conspiracy, narratives, whatever you like. This is about objective science.
It's at least debatable. For example, climate change.
Well, not interested in ideas and concepts. Why do you keep referring to it as a debate? Again, you're not showing yourself in a very good light here, son.
No matter what you believe about climate change, most people would have to agree there's still a debate going on.
There's a debate because people are ignorant morons that jump on dichotomies on things they know fuck all about. Victims of propaganda, willfully engaging in it to confuse themselves and confuse other people because they want certainty and they want to be relevant and important and have stature above others and be right and win the world. all behaviours that result from the religious cult they were born into.
There's still a sizable portion of the population there that has doubts about climate change. I'm not aware of any sizable portion of the population that believes the Earth is flat, other than
So now he's into the nonsense realm of appealing to consensus and trying to use that as some sort of sway to rationalise his behaviour here, to give reason to why he's addressing it like this. And that foundation that he's reasoning from is illogical and empty. Yeah, I was not aware that consensus and all that stuff. Whatever, mate.
than the small group, of course, the Flat Earth movement. Now, some may look at this and say, this is really just skepticism. This is good. In the scientific community,
Yes, it is. Skepticism is very healthy. And objective science would be encouraging it in every aspect, because that's how we have progress. That's how we eradicate pseudoscience and nonsense and faulty understanding, misconceptions, because people like me maintain a healthy level of skepticism. We display real health, real mental health. It should be applauded and it should be encouraged, but it's not being. Ask real questions about why that is, son.
we need to have skepticism. We need to look at theories and be flexible. We need to be willing to believe something different than we believed before.
Stop you. No, you don't. There is a psychologist. We need to believe. We need to be. What? This guy's lost. Seriously. What is the necessity or relevance of a human being ever placing beliefs within their own conscious mind? There is no reason to, other than a place of fear and confusion, and they need a teat to suckle on, which would tell you they're in a weak state of mind, in a weak emotional place. So if I was you, I would smarten myself up and eradicate this idiocy about beliefs. Human beings don't require beliefs. Beliefs in a human being's mind is a virus. If you're talking about self-belief, self-motivation, self-belief in order to achieve motivation to get things done, that's a whole other ballgame. Excuse the pun. When it comes to establishing objectivity, belief doesn't come into it. Okay?
If we see substantial evidence that moves in that direction.
Substantial evidence. So again, I don't know if he's trying to be sneaky with his words here. There's a difference between scientific measurable proof and evidence offered up through argumentation, debate. Okay?
Not really what we're dealing with here when we talk about the Flat Earth movement. This is beyond skepticism. This is really discounting all evidence. Now, another interesting.
So here again, this is beyond skepticism. This is discounting all evidence. Evidence is no measurable scientific proof, mate. Again, he's even saying it. It's a debate, it's a concept that requires evidences to lend weight to it. No actual demonstration and measurement of claims being made.
Interesting point that aligns this with conspiracy theory is
It's not a conspiracy theory either. Okay?
look at the Flat Earth movement and kind of their core beliefs. They really seem
Here we go. Core beliefs. He knows us all. Mr. Logic here. Mr. Psychologist.
seem to have a thing against NASA. And of course,
You seem to have a
NASA,
thing against NASA. Well, I mean, I have got a thing against NASA, really. Aye, because you know why? Because they depict the Earth in an absurd bullshit way that I know is false. How do I know that? The physical world, the real, actual, objective world that you and I share, tells me that what they're depicting is false. It's an absurdity. So if you establish that lies are being told, you wouldn't have a problem with that. It's alright to you. Fuck NASA. They are irrelevant to me. I have no personal gripe with NASA. I don't want to hang the NASA employees in the street. I don't want to hold them accountable for anything. They are entitled to offer whatever product they like. I refuse their product. And I do so on very solid ground. Son.
NASA would be an agency that's gathered a lot of evidence that demonstrates the Earth is, in fact.
No, they have not. They show you pictures on your telly. Is that your evidence? That's it. They show you pictures on your TV from a point of view that you can never achieve, that you have never witnessed. That is an impossibility. How do I know it's an impossibility? Here's how, mate. We'll go back to physics again. They are telling me that the Earth is suspended in a void, a vacuum, and that there is no separation between our pressurised gaseous environment and the vacuum that they are professing to go to. My reality tells me that's impossible. You cannot maintain any pressure inside a vacuum without containment that separates the pressure from the vacuum. Demonstrable fact that I can demonstrate to you over and over and over and over again. But you need to deny that. You have to refuse that. You think reality is a conspiracy theory so that you can maintain your cult belief. What you should be doing here, son, is holding a mirror right up to yourself, because what you're talking about here is you and your globe cult and the other disciples that we will get to.
Spherical. So it makes sense they'd have to deal with NASA at some level in their belief system.
No, I don't have a belief system, and I've just told you I don't have to deal with NASA on any fucking level. NASA is removed from any of this because NASA doesn't offer anything measurable, anything tangible. They are a Hollywood production team that give you images on your fucking TV screen. You illogical, weak little man.
But it's interesting because usually when we think of conspiracy, especially if we think of something that rises to a delusional level, and again, not everybody in this
A delusional level like I believe what I see in my TV, although it contradicts my direct experience of reality. So you're at that much a delusion that you think real reality is a conspiracy and that these priests and the Hollywood production team are telling you the truth. And your rationale, your reasoning behind that is you've seen it on the fucking television.
it would be classified as delusional. But if somebody were delusional, a lot of times when we look at delusions, we see agencies like the CIA mentioned, the FBI, a general distrust for the government, but not NASA.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned any of that. I distrust anybody who assumes an authority over me. And so should you, son. That's not a conspiracy theory. Again, that's a healthy state of being that you are somehow want to try and play down. What does that say about you? Eh? You little sheepdog. Eh? Trying to keep the sheepsies in the wee pen, are you, son? Eh? Is that your game? Is that what you're showing me here? I invite you, Dr. Todd Grandy, to come and have a discussion with me anytime. And we can analyse each other. There you go. I'll be your guinea pig, you be my guinea pig. And we'll see how we get on. How about that? How about you do that? Some direct experience rather than sitting there generalising. Cherry picking out your arse and offering up illogical spewings and ramblings.
It's curious that they would target NASA and target their credibility.
Who's targeting them? I don't need to target them directly. Their credibility, they don't have any. They're depicting the earth in an absurd way. Lies. Blatant lies. Right? Real science shows you that. Real objectivity. Skepticism shows you that.
It makes sense to some degree to have a healthy distrust of the CIA or the FBI because they are in part a secret organization. NASA is not a secret organization.
Anybody who pushes hierarchy and stature is to be distrusted. They are displaying narcissistic tendencies, psychopathy, a need to control and dominate over others so that they feel secure in themselves.
Really. So I find this to be kind of an interesting facet.
I find your whole thing interesting, son. I'm concerned about the people who come to you and view you as a professional, right? Because I don't think you're even capable of understanding what their best interests are and how to empower them. I predict that you are just another little lick spittle, a sheepdog that wants to adjust people enough to accept this fucked up nonsense that they were born into. Find a comfortable place within the absurdities. Now you're healthy, yay! Now I get my paycheck.
This really counters this point that this is just healthy skepticism. No, there is a real conspiracy theory component, I think, to the Flat Earth movement.
Well, it's no my fault if my objective world and objective science shows me what my world is, and you've got these muppets on your TV trying to tell you it's something other than what objective science shows you. It's then a choice. You want to believe them. You want to trust them. Why? Are you not strong enough to stand on your own 2 feet and discern what the actual reality of the situation is? Are you too lazy? Or are you scared? I mean, what is it? You can let me know. Again, I invite you to have discussion. If you've seen me before, I don't want any of your pish about Dell getting angry and telling people to fuck off. That's again healthy, short fuse for idiocy. If you don't bring me your idiocy and your antagonistic nonsense, you'll not get that from me. Okay?
We know members of this Flat Earth movement, Flat Earthers, tend to believe in a lot of other conspiracy theories. So they
Again, we're generalising. We're just generalising. He knows everybody. He's analysed the whole fucking board. Right?
believe in this theory of the flat Earth, but they also have other theories, including the CIA and the FBI, and other more common conspiracy theories. Another thing I find interesting here is that there doesn't seem to be any amount of evidence that can convince a lot of these flat earthers that the world is in fact spherical.
Because we don't want evidence, mate. We want actual, repeatable, measurable, demonstrable proofs. Okay? So no, sophistry, red herrings and mutabiges is no measurable scientific proof of anything.
So of course there's pictures that NASA's taken all that, and those are discounted. But even if...
Of course they're discounted. Are you now suggesting that a picture, an image, is measurable scientific proof? Really? Is that what you really are offering up here, son? Rather than being honest and say, you prefer, you choose to believe because you want it to be true, because you're lazy, intellectually bankrupt.
If you have other evidence, and of course there is an amazing amount of evidence supporting the Earth.
And now he's just appealing to nonsense, empty nonsense, buzzwords, an amazing amount of evidence. Where? Where is it? All you need to do is bring it. If it's objectively true and it can be demonstrated and repeated over and over again, I accept it as my reality. But telling me to look straight in front of myself and water's bending on slopes and all that stuff without flowing and ships are going at it and people are stuck upside down and all that's all backed up by what I see on my television is absurd.
Spherical. No evidence seems to rise to the level of significant for many people in this group.
And that's not alarming to you then? That never crossed your mind to think, God on the new, I better have an actual look at this? No, rather than, maybe consider that you've been duped and that you're an illogical, weak moron, you're just going to suggest that it's everybody else and there must be something wrong with them. What kind of psychologist are you, son?
So they really can't be swayed from this belief no matter what.
It's not a belief. I am swayed by what can be practically shown to me. What is objectively true?
Is put in front of them. If evidence is presented and it appears convincing, oftentimes they say it was fabricated.
Appears convincing. Again, he's in the realms of trying to convince, coerce, influence people. A manipulator. That's what he is. No, an objective skeptic. He's displaying it.
So we end up here in kind of a logical dead end where there's no way to.
You were at a logical dead end 15 seconds into this, mate. It's a shambles. Right? What kind of payroll are you on? What do you get as a salary? I'd love to fucking know. Because you don't fucking deserve to be sitting there. You're a danger to people. You don't even understand yourself. And you're meant to be sitting there helping other people.
To really reason and move forward. So again, this is a departure from adhering to the scientific method.
Oh, so now you want to spout the scientific method? Apply it to your fucking globe and bring us the fucking measurable proof of this sphere. Right? With its bendy water, it's elasticated bendy water and all that stuff. You're a fucking shambles, mate. An absolute embarrassment. And I'm deeply concerned for the people that you interact with, who pay you to supposedly help other people. You, son, are everything that is wrong with this fucked up place.
These individuals were really committed to the scientific method. They would look at the evidence and at least be willing to consider.
I have. It's bullshit. Pictures on my TV and rhetorical crap. Whiteboards and crayons. All the tools of a cult. No, the tools of real science. Real practicality.
Consider that the Earth is spherical. And that's not really what we see here. But this group, we also see this tendency to believe what's seen. At least that's how it's kind of framed. Like they believe evidence that they can see directly.
No, listen to him. Listen to the hypocrisy here. They only tend to believe things they can see. No, we don't. We are continually pointing out to people like you that all you have is visible proofs, an interpretation of vision. Seen it on my telly. There's optical phenomena out there on the water, therefore the Earth's a globe. Vision is not enough, son. Purely vision is not what brought you that fucking computer that's behind you and those spectacles that you've got over those eyes. Right? It was all the senses interacting with the 3D realm that we exist in. So it's us who are pointing out that vision is just not enough. But now you're trying to flip it. I'm beginning to think you're doing this deliberately, wee man.
Well, this is a pretty high burden of proof. A lot of us believe...
Well, it is a high burden of proof, and that lies at the globe. Liquids don't have the ability to support shear stress and to conform to the exterior of shapes. It is everybody's practical, common sense, direct experience of reality that liquids don't behave the way the globe image depicts. It has a huge burden of proof because it's trying to take away everybody's common sense direct experience of the objective reality and show them that it's behaving in an absurd manner. And the only thing they've got to support it is rhetoric and an image on the TV.
We can't see directly. We, at some level, take people's word for it. We take the word of scientists and other experts.
No, scientists and experts, look at them, bowing to nonsense. Oh, there's a man above me that's more powerful than me and he knows more. My senses and my reasons are fucked up, so I need somebody else who's much smarter. When it comes to the objective world, you don't need hierarchy, mate. You have all the same faculties as I have. If you want to convince me that something is true about my objective reality, you take all your faculties and you bring me the substance and you demonstrate it to me. Okay? And I don't mean bring your telly and plug it in and then go, look, here it's you the TV.
But many people wouldn't have first-hand knowledge that the world is spherical. So this is a really high burden of proof, and they use what they call science, these experiments, in essence to try to beat science. They would...
It's not a competition. It's not a competition, mate. Not trying to beat anybody. Just trying to establish and ascertain what the actual facts are.
Not to say to extend science or to advance science, but really they're talking about first-hand observations only, and that's not everything that's included in the scientific method. The scientific method does involve a community that builds on knowledge, that runs...
Now he's trying to lay out consensus like it's some sort of good thing. Fuck your consensus, mate. Groups and consensus can be coerced and corrupted. You should know that.
It's experiments, it looks for replication, and shares information. What we really see here is a number of individuals going out and pursuing single experiments. Now this may seem like science, and again, some degree...
Yes, the majority of people that I see who are questioning this are the very people who are active in the practical world, trying to ascertain what it is. Look at the globe. What have we seen? We've seen a bunch of illogical jesters ridiculing people, trying to play on people's emotions, and offer nothing but crayon drawings on boards and words. You want to turn your attention to that and open your fucking eyes.
There's a little bit of overlap, but it's really not the same thing. So what could be going on here in terms of personality or mental health?
See, again, he's not looking at it like, well, there might be validity here and I better have an investigation into it. He's just asserting that there must be something wrong there and there must be something wrong there. Not very objective, is it? Not very scientific. Not very intellectually honest. Not very psychologist-y.
Like this. Well, again, there could be nothing going on. Many of the members could simply look at this theory and be intrigued and join the movement and believe there's something to it, there doesn't have to be a delusion or an extreme personality trait at work. Now, with others,
What would you say about the extreme personality traits that people like us mind our own business and ask objective questions and pursue such, only to be hounded, stalked, and harassed by zealots who offer nothing, who profess people like us are mentally ill, but yet do nothing but try and ridicule it and make fun of it? What would you have to say about their character? Their psychology? That would be an interesting topic of focus, would it not, sir? Maybe we should do that together. Are you up for it? Eh? Shall we have an objective investigation and lay everything out on the table and sift through it and see what's what? Are you up for that? I highly doubt it.
it could also be a sense of belonging. I think there's probably a financial incentive for people that run this. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to support this, but
I'm
usually
not looking for a sense of belonging. I don't give a fuck whether MD accepts me, likes me, loves me, hates me, or any of that shit. I don't operate for there. That's not what drives me and fuels me. So who are you talking about?
with some type of conspiracy theory that's organized, somebody's making money. There could also be some extreme personality.
Oh, somebody's making money. Never mind the corrupt governments, taxation, theft. Not to mention institutions like NASA and all the other religions who are taking gullible people's, emotions and mental processes, fucking them up and draining their pocket at the same time. Are you fucking stupid or something? You must be. I don't know if you're that stupid or you're just a barefaced fucking liar. That's up to you. It'd be great to get some interactions with you, see what you've actually got to say. I predict a shite bag right enough. Liars and weak people that you usually run a fucking mile and make excuses up.
Personality traits in play here. Particularly, I would think low openness to experience, so being very rigid and dogmatic, although you could also argue.
Wait a wee minute, very and dogmatic. You confused again, son. I believed I lived on a globe. I'm not the dogmatic one. I'm the intellectually honest, the real skeptic, the person that's interested in objective science. It's hardly dogmatic that I believed and assumed these things to be true for a majority portion of my life. And then when I actually addressed it, I had the capacity, the perseverance, the strength, and the will to adapt and remove faulty belief structures from my being. You, son, are the dogmatic religious zealot, and you're displaying it plentifully for us here to analyse and see.
Very high openness to experience could get you to the same place through a different method, extended fantasy, creativity, and imagination. In terms of agreeableness, it could be low agreeableness, simply being a contrarian, looking at evidence and saying, no, I'm going to discount
This
this.
is another one they like to, you're just trying to be contrarian and all that, No. It wasn't an active choice for me to say, do you know what, I'm going to be a contrarian here and I'm just going to reject the globe because it's true, but I'm just going to reject it anyway because I've not even got any reason. Nothing of what you're saying makes any fucking sense at all here. Son, they're just clutching at straws and trying to pass it off as some sort of objective analysis. And you've done nothing objective.
Evidence, no matter what it is. So, antagonistic, argumentative, that could be a possibility.
Antagonistic and argumentative, what do you mean, like globe cult zealotry? Poking their nose into people like me on our own platform, minding their own fucking business? And you've got people bringing you the same nonsense over and over again for 4 years solid? Attacking you at every fucking turn, having you in every single one of their videos? You better start fucking having a real look here, matey. I think you're fucking blind to the reality of what's actually going on. You need to stop listening to propaganda and cherry picking what you want to hear to be true. They're a mess.
In terms of mental health, there are a lot of potential explanations. Paranoid personality features, schizotypal personality features. So
Fancy
with
words.
paranoid, of course, we'd have people that are paranoid and distrustful. With schizotypal features, we would see somebody who has unusual thinking, odd beliefs, certainly consistent.
What, like bodies of water bend? Like you can maintain uncontained pressure in a vacuum? Like there's no measurable curvature anywhere, but I'm going to believe it anyway because my telly told me? Do you mean like that? Or I believe it because scientists told me, because authority told me, governments told me. See how they try and, subtly project normality and the fucked up realms of being and champion it like it's some sort of stable ground. This cunt's breeding mental retardation.
Flat Earth movement to some degree. Again, for some of the individuals that could be what's happening. And for some, it could just be a delusional situation. And we could see some of that with cluster A personality disorders like paranoid and schizotypal. But we could also see it with an illness like schizophrenia. And there's some other disorders as well that have...
So is this his attempt at trying to label us as that? Is that what they're going to try? Well, we can see them trying to push this idea that people like me are a cult, and now they're going to try and push this. Is this their game? Are they showing us what their next protocol is? Is that it?
Of a delusional component. And really, when we look at what qualifies as a delusion, it would be when somebody...
A delusion is when you have no fucking proof for your idiotic beliefs. A delusion is objective reality shows me that I'm on a stationary level plane, but I believe what I see on my telly and what my government and my hierarchy told me. That's fucking delusion.
Believe something that's contrary to overwhelming, significant evidence.
I keep saying it. There's no overwhelming anything. Overwhelming idiocy. Illogical spewings. Rhetorical gobbledygook. Gish gallop. Red herrings. Fallacious bullshit. That's all we've experienced. Coming from the Globe cult.
And that seems to be what's going on here some of the time.
Again, note the mannerisms. This is how they play, right? Convincing people that this type of mannerism denotes intelligence and rational and reasonable, because I'm so quiet and non-threatening and unexpressive, and that somehow means balance. What a prick.
Again, there's a lot of reasons somebody could join an organization like this or have these beliefs.
An organisation? Now we're an organisation. Again, can you show me this registry? Can you show me where the taxation's happening and where the funds are coming in for? Because I seem to be missing all that. I'm still platted. I still struggle the same as everybody else every day. So I would love to be in on this. If you can please, show me where it's happening. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much. Cheers, my man.
A delusional frame of mind would just be one of these reasons, the presence of delusions. Another bit of evidence that kind of points to the presence of delusions, maybe in some of these instances, would be if you look at the explanations of how the Earth is flat as opposed to spherical.
No, it's not an explanation. It's a demonstration, a demonstrable fact. That if you even fucking peered beneath the surface, you would realise. But you've no.
In this movement, the explanations defending the flat Earth model are...
Oh, no, that flat Earth model. I don't have a model either, mate. I'm a realist. I was born into this. I was told it's something that I know it's no. And now we require individual, objective investigation with right and freedom to move and establish exactly what it is. Again, encouraging and inviting the whole populace that we know of the whole scientific community in all walks of life to step up to the mark and have this laid out on the table so that we can put it to bed, rather than listen to fucking morons like you and your garbage trying to paint things in a certain light because you're a abusive, deceptive, dishonest little cult zealot.
Extremely complex, much harder to believe, much more full of fantasy.
No, it's not complex, it's very simple. It's your direct common sense everyday experience that you're on a stationary level plane. We incorporate Euclidean plane principles into your every aspect of our being. And it works. But you've got pictures on your telly and you're rational and reasonable. You're clever.
Than the actual scientific explanations that we believe.
Scientific, look, note the deceptiveness. Scientific explanations. Oh, there might be science and explanations, but the explanations are no measurable scientific proof. They're just explanations, son. Sophisticated explanations, thought out lies is what that translates to. Deliberate, methodical lies
Are true. So the Earth is spherical, and its nature as being a sphere makes sense in terms of bodies orbiting the Earth and the Earth orbiting the Sun and all that.
Does it? It makes sense to him, so therefore it's real, it's true. The narratives he's been told make sense to him. He can imagine it in his subjective being, therefore it's true. That's what he's saying. The sun and the moon and the planets and the baby. Your own Earth, son. The question's what's the dimensions of the Earth? What are you talking about up there for? Huh? Displaying more of your retardation?
The flat Earth movement has to make up all of these really unusual mechanisms in terms of physics.
He's just saying these things without giving specifics. And now he's bringing up physics. What is it in physics that this arswipe here thinks proves his globe? Because there's nothing. Theoretical physics, i.e. mathematicians making up nonsense. Imagination. Concepts. Is that what you're talking about? That's not the physics I'm talking about, son. I'm talking about demonstrable, tangible physics that deal with the substances in the objective world that can be demonstrated. Have you got any of that? No.
To explain how the Earth could be flat. And of course, one of the
He keeps talking about explanations and words and rhetoric and all that stuff. The guy's an absolute pancake.
Would be, how come nobody's ever reached the end of the Earth and just...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake. You can even see him cringing in himself when he's saying that. Can't believe I'm actually saying it. I'm cringing with myself, but somehow I'm just going to delude myself and push on through and keep saying it anyway, although he knows it's absolutely preposterous. Where did you get this idea of an edge? Same place you got all the other fucking generalisations and nonsense through the TV, through the propaganda. Well done, son. You are a shambolic embarrassment. And I hope people remove themselves from you. Because you're a fucking danger. You're a liability to vulnerable, delicate people. You're everything that is back to front with this fucked up shite that we call civilization. That allows arsenobs like you to manoeuvre yourself into the position you're in. Where you probably prey on people with your assumed authoritative position. I detest and have serious contempt for irrational, illogical, deceitful, dishonest cunts like you, sonny boy.
driven off or sailed off. The popular explanation I hear for this is that NASA is guarding this wall of ice that exists.
And here we go again. Again, demonstrating why I discourage people from the very beginning. Please do not adopt straw man beliefs. Okay? Because this is what you're going to get.
At the edge of the Earth. So again, very fantastical explanations compared to what we actually know from science. So
what do you know? You know nothing. Science has got no measurable proof that the Earth's a globe. It has a picture.
The thing I'll cover here is really what I initially thought when I heard the flat Earth movement. Remember, I initially thought that this can't be real. I didn't know this was a thing. I thought maybe this was a group of individuals who just wanted to call attention to how quickly we believe in what's popular, what's helpful.
Exactly. Listen to yourself. You've just appealed to consensus. What's popular, what you see on your TV, and then continually say, oh, the abundant amounts of evidences that don't exist.
Held by conventional science. We don't really question it, we just believe it. Turns out
what conventional science are you talking about here? The applications, the real scientific understanding that we use in our everyday life? Or the bullshit that comes out of astrophysicists and NASA?
It doesn't seem, again, to be what this movement is about, but I think it's still an interesting point. It does make us pay attention to this idea of how do we know something's true?
Exactly. Well done. So here in case, there's, sums my whole point up. What are you doing all this shite for? Why are you not just joining in and encouraging the whole populace to get involved in this and have it laid out objectively? With no ridicule. With no subjective emotional shite injected into it whatsoever. Cold, hard facts. Then we will know what it actually is. I suggest you turn your attention to that and maybe the antics of your cult and what people like me have had to put up with. And then stand back in awe at the sheer strength and tenacity that people like me display. That you can only dream of ever achieving.
Are we a little too quick to just believe something? Somebody says something, we see it on TV, we see it on the internet, and we believe it. But maybe we should be a little more cautious.
Well done, son. The most sense you have made. That wee 3 seconds there, out of this 11-minute nonsense that you've offered, is the best sense you've ever fucking made. And you're so confused, you don't even understand or realise it. Now I suggest that you do realise it. Readdress yourself, give yourself a fucking shake, and start again.
Not to the point of discounting all evidence, but just healthy skepticism. So I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this flat Earth movement, and really the whole movement and everything we see here is fairly...
Well, there is lessons. I've just gave you some lessons and I hope you learn. And I hope that you're man enough to come and engage with myself. Okay? I invite you.
Fascinating from a personality perspective and again potentially from a mental health perspective. I hope you found this discussion of the flat Earth movement to be interesting. Thanks for watching.
Well, it was interesting. Very interesting. Not for the reasons that you think though. Right. Right. Bear with me, people. I'm away for a piss. What could I leave for you? I'll leave you some entertainment. Let me see. Fuck it, we'll go for that one. I'll be back in 2 secs.
My head looks like the top of a guitar stick.
I think I'll put that on loop. I don't know. How did I do that?
My head looks like the top of a gear stick.
And that's enough of him. 2 minutes. Right. Right. So who's all here? Let me just check something here. Gav, I'll open up a wee other hangout and see if you've got something to say in any of this. And then maybe, I don't know, I'll have a wee half hour opening up, see if anybody's got anything to say in regards to any of this. Okay, right. Right. Bill, missed your call as well the day I was in Glasgow. If you're hearing this. Mero as well, missed your message. Beyond Belief RV says he will be joining the high in response to your invitation, just to let you know. I don't give a fuck what fucking Russian vids is going to say. Russian vids has exposed himself. I don't give a fuck about you Russian vids. Not interested in anything you've got to say, cunt. Fuck off. You come in here, you're getting contempt. You're only going to dig a bigger hole for yourself, son. Up to you. Cheers, Beyond Belief. Right. Let me go. Let me see. Oh, Gav's not there. What's the reason for censoring Merrick Duvai's channel this time? Merrick Duvai been censored, has he? I've not noticed that. I've seen something coming up. Somebody needs to enlighten me here. No Joe Silva. No more shoes. Derek Ra. Flyeth Underground. How you doing? Alison. Yep, quite right, Alison. It's irrelevant. Again, people him try and place relevance on petty squabbles at a subjective level. Right? Personal nonsense, although he's a faceless potato. What the fuck is any of that go to do with the objective world?
Hey, alright, my man.
Right, Gav, how you doing?
Aye, sound. Yourself?
Nice one, aye, good mate, good.
Having a quiet Sunday evening, yeah?
Yes.
You're just letting review pass on how stupid and ignorant people can be, huh?
Exactly.
Especially those who profess to be wise and talk psychological bullshit.
Exactly, mate.
Amazing.
Exactly. You still there?
Aye, I'm here.
Aye.
Can you hear me?
No, I was just having to shut some of that down there. Wait a minute, I need to shut that as well. So that it's just you that's there. Hang on. Sorry, mate.
Anyway.
I don't know if you can see. I can't see right now if you're showing.
No, I'm not watching the hangout.
No, you're showing, mate. You're showing. I don't know if you can see. Aye. So
I just wanted to put a bit of my slant. So I listened to your dissection, your reasonable, how should I say, dissection of that man's ramblings. Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the things that is kind of immediate to me is, again, the role of mathematics in his whole attitude and demeanor.
Yeah.
And this might not appear obvious, but you know how when we've talked a lot about the quantification of things, right?
Yep.
Is basically mapping human sense, observations, and experiences into what we call quantities, right?
Yep.
But you have to have a quantity of something, right?
Yep.
So, you know, obviously substances can have quantities, right? That's obvious because they have, you know, figure and extension and mass and bulk and, you know, all that, right?
Right.
But when we start to talk about subjective things
Yep.
in people's minds, like, you know, love or, you know, passion or, you know, anger or evil or any of those kind of words where it means different things to different people.
Yep.
And there's different ranges and limits and
Yep.
all those kind of things within, you know, everybody's an individual, right?
Yep.
And one of the real problems or the prime delusion that psychologists have is that they actually think that they can quantify things, right?
Yep.
And that they can put people in wee scales,
Yep.
and, you know, weigh them up against each other and put them in drawers. And
Aye. Well,
you know what I mean?
that's the point I was asking. Where are you getting your bar that you're setting to judge all these things from? You know.
Well, again, I think a lot of it's the fault. When I say the fault of mathematics, it's the perception, you know, the divine status that mathematics has become.
Yeah.
That they actually think they can quantify just about anything, Dale, right?
Yeah.
And they go around and they do that then, right?
Mhm.
Divorced from physical substance, and try to attach a quantification to things where they shouldn't be,
Yep.
right? Because it's very difficult to say, you know, do you love somebody twice as much as he loves you?
Yep.
You know, I mean, how the hell are you supposed to answer a question like that? And yet psychologists seem to have this delusion, right? And it's built into the nature of the science that they're preaching, right?
Yep.
Or that they're professing. And they actually take, you know, a lot of those thoughts from mathematics. Yeah, we can quantify anything. Let's put it on a scale. Let's make up something, and then let's make up some kind of measurement device for it. I've talked about that before, right? So you see this thread of delusion that mathematics brings, and it pervades, you know, all of the sciences, even down to the social sciences, who think they can measure people with IQ tests. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, it's absurd, Dale, right? You know, even... You know, and these guys, I think, you know, they get so lost in their own belief and then guarding, of course, that knowledge that they think they have, that they'll defend it to the end. So,
Exactly.
you know, my take on that guy was, you know, much that I want everybody to have care and solace and attention and helpers whenever they need it, right? This guy is deluding himself in that he thinks he's separating objectivity and subjectivity, and he's not, right? He's completely lost in his little self bubble of delusion, right? And he's lazy too, right? He hasn't looked into the subject, and he doesn't, as you quite rightly pointed out, know his own mind, right? So that I'm just trying to summarize it from my perspective. I thought you did a very good job of showing where the guy's problems lie. Yeah?
It's a great point, adding other angles and other words to exactly what we're saying. Mate. You know, we speak about this all the time. The subjective world is something that you can't quantify. It's subjective, and as you say, every individual is different. So this is why I say, you know, you have to address people who are passing judgment. and projecting onto others from a subjective point of view. They have no grounds to stand upon. And if you start engaging with them, you'll get avoiding behaviours, you'll get mental gymnastics, you'll get emotions, tantrums, because they're trying to evade the fact that they don't have any grounds to stand on other than they're insecure and they feel the need to try and control other people. You can't quantify anybody at a subjective level. It's impossible because there's so much complexity and variety of people, you know, and it's
Yeah,
not it's not a solid tangible thing. I can't pull your consciousness out your brain and go, oh, there it's there, now I'm going to quantify it and there's all its parts and that really, I mean, it's fucking nonsense.
but they'll show you heat maps and things like that, you know, and electrical signal maps.
Correlation doesn't mean
they'll have an
cause.
interpretation. Exactly,
You know?
exactly, my man. And they should know better, right? You know, I mean, these guys are professing to do a science, right?
Yeah.
But if they think they can mix up, you know, real quantification of real substance with their metaphysical musings on how it might possibly be working, right?
Yeah.
And attach a measurement device to it and use mathematics to justify that they're allowed to quantify it, right?
Yep.
Then, you know, I think they're all barking up the wrong tree, and I think it's one of the things that really has to be,
It's
you know,
destructive.
pointed out, you know.
It's destructive. You're saying it nicely. I know what you're saying, barking up the wrong tree. It's a destructive trait because it sows destruction between people. Because as soon as, I mean, if I was to sit here and pass judgment on you at a subjective level, our relations, our communication would be severed. There would be, you know, there would be real problems because we, you know, unless I addressed it and resolved it and took my responsibility for my nonsense, you know, that would cause damage between, you know, just the likes of me and you. And it'd be the same if you'd done that to me. We've seen it before. I had the issues with people on my platform before who were, you know, helping out on this platform who never took responsibility for their subjective, you know, projections. And it just causes a conflict. It causes a separation. It is a destructive trait that they're displaying and something that I think we should eradicate. Or at least understand and have the ability to point at it and see the dividing lines, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, realizing that you're doing it is usually the hardest part, right?
Yep.
And then the corrective, you know, can only come from yourself, right? So
Exactly. You know, and again, you know, we're talking about what can be objectively proven. Now we've got psychologists involved. I mean, you know, what the fuck? What kind of is this new? They've not got any globe proof or anything tangible, so now they're going to try and sway it with this crap. You know, everything but measurable proof.
Well, I mean, they'll have to take it from the sciences that can't provide any, right? So, because we're not going to get a water engineer coming to show us bendy water, Dale, right?
No.
We're not going to get a real physicist or a practical engineer of any sorts to, you know, come and defend this belief.
No.
So we've been sitting here for 3 years, so yeah, maybe that's all they can throw, you know?
Exactly.
There's a bunch of staying away from that.
It's fucking bizarre.
It's bizarre. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to point that out, that mathematics has that red thread that runs through so many sciences, and as I say, quantification and the definition of a quantity, you have to be very careful, you know, about, you know, scales that people invent, you know, devices to measure things, right?
Yeah.
Quantities, you always have to be asking, of what exactly? Right? Show me this stuff, right?
Aye.
Demonstrate it to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about some invisible thing that, you know, is not possible, right? So,
yeah. Exactly, mate. But it's, you know, again, it's great for us. It's a great study. You know, it gives you an idea of where they're going, what their antics are like, and what their possibilities are, what they're going to try next. You know, so as I say, they've run exhausted avenues now of the rhetorical bullshit, and now they want to wheel in the psychologists to try and prove a globe.
Right.
I mean,
it's lame ducks we're getting now, you know.
Aye.
It was just all the boys to begin with, and they real men, and now we're just getting lame ducks.
The standard from the earlier days, it's done nothing but deteriorate from then on in. You know,
they had some spunk in the beginning, didn't
they? Aye.
Now they're just tired old wankers.
Exactly. They've got nothing to sustain them though, because we've got the truth. We stand on objectivity. You know, so that's an abundance of never-ending fuel. You know, So,
Absolutely. The only thing they're pulling now is a dry cough.
Call in the priests. Alert the family.
And Dale, I think one of the reasons for that is, and we've said this before, there's how should I say, a rejuvenation within yourself, right? When you understand that there is a lot to still find out and inquire, and
Yeah.
And I think when that's woken into, as long as you cultivate it a little bit, and you actually don't need much, right?
Yeah.
It drives itself.
Exactly.
And I think anybody that is awoke to that, so to speak, is only going to grow. And common sense, you can't beat common sense. It's futile to try, right?
And
Anybody who says that my ability to walk over the road without getting run down, I should just forget all that and believe his picture,
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, right,
That, exactly, just as you said there, mate, it was a good point. That fuel, it's the practicality, it's the hands-on practicality. It's like sitting listening to somebody waffle musical theory at you for a year, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then you get your hands on the then you get your hands on the practical, and all of a sudden you're enthused because now you've got something tangible to apply it to. It makes sense now. You've got a mode of expression and real experience, and that's the beauty of this,
Yeah, that's why the flames will only grow higher, if you ask me.
Exactly.
You just need to blow on it, and some people now it's just a wee puff you need, and people get ignited and start thinking.
Exactly, mate.
It's contagious and it's good, right?
That's just healthy. It's fucking great. I mean, real progress, real understanding, real evolution of the mind, of the conscious, of the individual. I mean, who would ever want to stand against that?
But well, only people who are looking to protect something that they don't want to lose,
Exactly.
right? And normally that's a false belief they're hanging on to anyway, because they don't even fucking know what it is that they're holding on to, that they're afraid to lose.
Exactly. I'll let them know right now. They don't have anything that I want for them, so they can chill the fuck out. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite content being me and satisfied in my own being. I don't need anything of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good stuff. Good crack, my man. I want to hold you up. So
bother me. Aye.
Open up, and I'll just stay in and listen.
Aye, we'll have a wee half hour opening up. So let me see here.
Hi, folks.
Please go.
Cheers to the mods again for all the good work.
Yeah, as always. Let's see if anybody comes in. Who's this? Bob? Bob, shut up. Oh, I don't know what's going on in there. We'll see who comes in, if anybody's got anything to offer with regards to this. So
Dale, have you got a... Oh, not P. Mars. No, please, no. Don't suffer.
They're dumb.
What's that?
You're dumb.
Who's dumb?
Both of you are dumb.
Oh, thanks for that, P-Mals.
I enjoyed your eye exam yesterday, Gav. I needed one, so you saved me $100. I really appreciate that. The Flat Earth gives back to the audience.
P-Mals, what is it you want for us?
Well, I was just going to say that if you think the Earth is flat, you're an idiot. And,
Right.
it's a sphere.
That's very interesting. That's
The
very
evidence says it's a sphere.
Does it? What evidence, P-Mals?
I have an
I'm
entire list of
going
evidence.
to be generous. I'm going to give you 1 minute to provide me with something.
I got an entire list of evidence.
Oh, you've got something on a screen. Smashing.
Uh-huh.
Right. So hold on a minute, just got this door.
The moon proves that the Earth is spherical.
The moon doesn't
Example.
give you anything measurable about the Earth that you're standing on, P-Mars. Stop being an illogical tit, son.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. Show me the measurement of the Earth's dimensions you get from looking at the moon.
Look, I can't be expected to answer all of your questions.
All right, so you've not got anything, so shut up. You don't have any measurement
No,
of the
I have
Earth.
an entire list of evidence
Right,
that
so you
the
don't
Earth
have-
is a
you don't-
sphere that proves
listen,
the Earth is a sphere.
listen. Do you get anything
got it.
measurable from
You got
any of
it,
the sky observations? Do you get anything measurable about the Earth's shape from the sky observations?
Do I have? Yes, I think so.
What?
Yeah.
What do you get from looking
Well, I
up?
was talking about.
P Mars, can you measure your flow for me right now by looking at the light fixings? Look up at the light fixings and tell me the dimensions of your house.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm asking you. That's what you're offering me. You're telling me look up there at the moon, that proves the Earth's a ball. And I'm asking you how.
Well, can I explain it?
No? Just tell me
No.
how you measured the Earth's dimensions from looking at the moon.
I didn't measure anything.
Right,
I'm
so what you talking
reading.
about?
I got a list of evidence that is-
P Mars, I don't want your waffle.
proves the
This-
Earth is a
This isn't a
sphere.
court case, P Mars. This is a scientific discussion and what you can quantify and tangibly, practically demonstrate. So show me the measurement of the Earth's dimensions you're getting from the moon or anything else in the sky.
I can't be expected to answer all your questions,
It's
Del.
not,
I
no,
just
it's
have a
not hundreds of
list.
questions. It's
of
one
evidence.
question. It's one question. What measurement of Earth do you get from anything in the sky, P Mars?
Can we move on
No,
because
just answer you
we're
don't.
just
The honest answer is you don't. The reason I know that's the answer is because I've been there and I asked myself these questions and I found that I didn't get any measurement of the Earth from looking up at the sky. That's the right answer. But you don't want to accept it because you're a religious zealot.
well, because you failed to do something doesn't mean that it's not
Hey,
true.
P-Mars, I've got a question for you. What do you call?
That's fallacious logic, Del.
No, it's no.
Your logic is terrible.
Oh, shut up, son. Go for it,
Well,
Gary.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm here to help you because you can't seem to be able to reason and logic out that we live on a sphere Earth.
Oh, shite, yeah.
And I'm here to provide you the epistemology and reasoning skills,
Where did you learn that word,
To
epistemology,
discern-
P Mars?
the shape of the Earth you live on. I've
Mars,
been watching a
Can you
lot of
ans- can
YouTube
you-
videos,
I'm going to
Del.
give you one more chance to answer the question, P Mars. Can you tell me and show me the measurement of Earth's dimensions that you're getting from the sky?
The moon's phases
Oh,
are a
shut
proof that it's orbiting a global Earth.
See you
In-
later, son. You had your chance.
I wanted to ask him one question, Dale.
Oh, sorry, mate. What was that?
All right. I was just going. If he could have joined it, we would have let him maybe stay. You know. So, what do you call a lens with no curvature?
Windy.
Aye, but would he have been able to answer that?
Russian Vids, what do you want, son?
How's it going, Del? How's it going, Gav?
Don't ask me how I'm doing. You're not on that level with me. What do you want?
Nothing wrong with the connection I got.
How's it going, Pete Mars? You were on my chat the other day, huh?
Never mind P Mars. What do you want, Russian Vids?
No, I'm just gonna clarify things with you. I'm no coward,
It's
Del. I'm gonna just
clarified.
be upfront
It's
with you.
clarified. You displayed it in the comments. I read through the comments and showed exactly what you were up to. So that's it.
That's it, huh?
Well, that's it.
Okay.
displayed
Well,
it.
you wanna, I'm not going to yell and scream like you do. That's
not yelling
just
and screaming at you.
barbaric, and that's just
I'm not
that's
yelling and
just
screaming at you.
childish to yell and scream.
I'm not yelling
My
and screaming
point
at
is
you.
this, Del. Just listen to me here. My point is
No,
this.
I'm not listening to you. You don't
Just
demand
hold
anything of
on.
me, son.
Del.
You
just
don't
hold on,
demand anything
Del.
of me. You don't deserve my respect or my attention in any way, shape,
Yeah.
or form, unless you come in here apologetic and taking responsibility for your absolute idiocy. I'm not interested in anything you've got to say, wee man.
Del, hold on.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not going to
I'm
hold
gonna
on. I'm not going to hold on.
Just
nothing.
relax a little bit.
You've got fuck
Let
all to
me
offer
speak.
me, son. You're an
Let me
illogical, idiotic moron.
Del, just listen to what I gotta say
No.
here, pal.
No,
Okay, you don't want to listen to what I gotta
don't
say.
worry. I'm not interested in you, mate. You're a fucking idiot. Piss
You
off.
want to call me an idiot?
Yes, fuck off. You're no welcome.
Okay, I'm not welcome.
No,
You want me to
you're
explain
irrelevant
myself?
to me. You had
But you
nothing
won't
to
let
the
me explain
question.
myself.
You've got nothing scientific to offer me, nothing objective to offer me, just emotional ramblings from a fucking illogical tit. Now piss off.
So,
Piss
so
off.
you can
Pass
talk
off.
about
Pass
you
off.
can talk
I'll
about
give you the
a
option to
potato
fuck off yourself
rocket
before
ball
I
going
kick
through
you, son.
space. But if I mention comments, what's the deal with that? You have a problem with that?
Comments. What does anything in it? I'll ask you the same as P. Miles, okay, Russian vids? Tell me anything you get about the shape of the earth from anything in the sky. Go, what's your science?
The whole point is this, Dale.
What's your science? Listen. What's your science about the shape of the earth that you get from anything in the sky? What's the relevance of the sky when we're talking about the shape of the earth?
What's the point of mentioning a potato ball in space?
See you later,
Going
son.
through the vacuum of space. What?
Avoiding, as predicted. No interested in you. Don't care about you at a subjective level. Fuck off back to your own platform and spew your illogical, disempowering drivel at somebody else who gives a fuck, because I don't. Okay? Time to move on, son.
Well, this is going well, Del, huh?
Fuck's sake, man.
All these wonderful people dialing in with so much to say and contribute.
People asking me to let him speak, let him speak. It's irrelevant. What Russian Vids has offered and his nonsense is irrelevant. I'm not getting dragged down to that level, right, of petty bullshit and subjective idiocy. I don't know this cunt on a personal level. He's passing subjective personal judgments on people like me. He's a moron. End of story. Sorry, Gav. What are you saying?
Aye, no, I think you're quite right to call a spade a spade.
That's it. Yeah. Again, it's signs that people need to look for here. They'll continually try and drag people into these subjective dialogues and argy-bargy. You know, fuck them. I'm not interested in any of that. What's the objective science? You know? Can we have a discussion with each other without getting to personal subjective levels of passing judgment? If we can maintain those boundaries, then it's all good. You know, I don't have any issue with anybody. But don't come here passing your personal judgments on me, or I'm just going to treat you like an absolute fucking tit that you are.
Right, I mean, it's just as bad as passing metaphysics off as, as real world, direct reality. So it's
Exactly. Exactly.
It's the same kind of virus, if you know what I mean.
Again, obsession. You know, the cunt's here on my platform, trying to make himself relevant, pushing his way in. Look at me, I've got an overinflated sense of entitlement. I'm important and relevant over here at your business. What the fuck, mate?
Right.
If I've got any interest in you, I'll come to your platform and spew my ramblings at you, right?
Right, that's exactly correct.
Well, I don't think we're going to get anything else, to be honest with you, Gav. By the looks of it, I'll try once more. I'll put the link in the chat box again, see if we get anything better.
Right. Maybe a psychologist will come.
Aye. Oh, with P. Miles, he's a great psychologist.
I think we should aim a bit higher than that. Let's get Jordan Peterson.
Aye, get that buffer here. What's going on in the chat box? Yeah, exactly, Tom Gauthier. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Reds 07. That's exactly what it is. Just trying to garner attention and popularity and subscribers and all that. You know, whatever, knock himself out, carry on, just not doing it in my watch, you know. Is anybody else going to join us? 5 minutes, people, to see if anybody joins. Set himself straight, Angry Beaver. You know, as again, if you've got the eyes and the wherewithal to have a look, you'll see these people. They will display it for you. You know, they're offering bullshit. They've got no option but to display it.
That's absolutely correct, Del. That's the horrible predicament they're in, isn't it?
Aye.
They've got nothing. You know, it's like, oh fuck, how am I going to sell these bastards anything that they haven't heard for the last 3 years and have absolutely nothing to show? It must be horrible.
Exactly.
All right, Cal. All right, Cal.
Frank.
Hey, Frank.
All right, boys. Nice one for that. That picked my eyes as a fucking. You got to wonder what goes on in their lives. You know what I mean?
I know.
like someone said, he had his whole life to wait for you to give him an opportunity, and he answers with the moon.
I know.
You know what I mean? What the fuck?
It's not that.
He's got a list. So what's his list? The moon, the sun, Mars. There's no explanation.
It's
behind
like
anything.
you can just encompass it all as the sky, but they think it's got more weight if they separate the sky up into all these wee bits. And I've got trillions of evidence. I've got Sigma Tantus and Orion's belt, and I've got Polaris. Okay.
I used to take ages and go through it, and I'd say, okay, you're standing on a beach next to me, and we see, what do we see? A flat horizon. It's a straight line,
Yeah.
right? It's a straight line, and you believe that that ship is going over the horizon,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now, 10 years ago, you know, there's no room. Maybe it has. Who fucking knows? Now, it hasn't. What always fucking bugged me was, all these blokes with telescopes who were looking up. Why don't you go down the beach and look across and see? You know what I mean? And I know what you get about lenses and that, but the answer to, has it gone over? And there's a photograph to show you that it's gone fucking nowhere. It's just gone farther away that we can't see it.
Mhm.
The first thing you say is, look at the sky.
Yep.
Look at the stars.
Right.
What the fuck? The ship, it's got nothing to do with it.
It's all very well, you know, giving them that wee opportunity and then asking them, okay, right now I'm asking you, you know, as a point to do, I'll give you the opportunity to look at the light bulb and measure the floor. I mean, tell me what measurement of the Earth and the dimensions of the Earth you're getting from
Tell me
these things.
how much wattage is the bulb first, Del.
Exactly.
Then I'll make a mathematical model.
Aye. You know, what are bends? How come? The moon. I mean,
Is that worktop level? It might be. I don't think it is. Look at the ceiling.
no, the light bulb's round, so the worktop's
Yeah.
round. That's the gist of it.
This is the basics of how anybody coming into this thing needs to look at.
Yep.
The horizon. If something goes over the horizon, and you sit there and you ask yourself, okay, maybe it has. How far is that? What? 8 miles? 5? Between 5, 8, 10 miles? Now look left to right. Where's the fucking curve left to right?
It's not that, mate. What you should be thinking to yourself is, hang on a now, what that's going over a slope. So there's a water that's bending and it's on a slope and the water's not flowing away. Fuck me. That's some magical stuff. That is right there. So it runs down from the hills all the way to the ocean, and then when it gets to a slope at the ocean, it decides it's not going to run anymore. It's now anchored itself.
And when the tide comes in, if it fucking ignores that curvature that the boat's gone over,
Yep.
the tide comes in just for a laugh on its own.
And then the next day you can see further, so it's a morphing testicle. The
Del,
testicle.
as you pointed out earlier, you know, every time you go for a long walk, you know,
Aye.
you get to the place where you could no longer see any further, right? And
Yep.
you find it's just as flat as where you were, right?
Exactly.
Or on the water, and then, you know, your visible horizon keeps moving, you know,
Aye.
and you can keep walking directly towards it, you know.
Aye.
So
Well,
all people need to do is go for a long walk.
Aye.
There's a thing from Dr. John D.
Yep.
And he's the guy that's been doing the stuff down in Brighton.
Yeah.
And he got put up on Metabunk, and Mick West used his gadget, his fucking gravitron scale thing that he used. And he's confronted him. He's called him a liar, out and out liar.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
he's
just-
doing a disservice to science. This guy's a master's in spectrometry or something. You know, he knows his onions.
Well,
And he's just being completely blanked.
yeah. Well, what I'm doing, mate, just while we're talking about it, I'm posting a link to the Dr. John D YouTube channel. People can check it out for themselves. I'll just put it in twice just to make sure people can check that out.
I hope it's just a happy coincidence that his name, John D, was the chief spy for which queen was it, or king? I can't remember.
This is the thing as well, you know, we have to rear caution on credentials, although, you know, credentials don't appeal to me in any way, shape or form, but, you know, the content that's being offered, you know, that's the most important thing. So people look at the content and they can discern for themselves what they
But as
make
long as he's not the Snoop John B.
You'll have heard that in the pub, Frank, eh?
Oh, not half, yeah. How many verses, Gav? How many verses of that can you do?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Too many to count.
No, but as I say, I just popped in to say, well, in on the PMAs thing. Well, there must be a way just to block these fellas. I don't know, but
Okay,
I
just
wouldn't
make,
know how to get back on that quick. That's all the little things that just all adds up to me.
he's got
I wouldn't
loads of
know
different
block
accounts.
accounts. It's like you pop them on automatic, you get booted, and they're back in again
Yep.
under a different name.
Well, that's
Fucking
it.
hell. It took me about 10 years to set the YouTube channel up for myself. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate. Well, that's the problem.
It's a job. They're actually obsessed. And the more and more I think about it, the more sad I get to actually believe that they are being paid, because that's fucking absolutely low life society's gone mad, you know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Certainly is, mate. But that's a problem as well. You could ban them and they just get an endless amount of other accounts, and you know, YouTube just allows them to fucking run about acting like fucking obsessive wee gimps, you know. So what can you do? You know, it's like a
I didn't get a notification for this hangout. I'm coming late.
nah, nobody seems to be getting the notifications, mate.
You know, it's just blatantly obvious that the game, it's fucking rigged, as the man said.
Yeah.
It's a game, and you know it's rigged, and there's a club, and we're not fucking in it, and that's the end of it. Like,
That's it. Mate.
Everybody needs to be careful what they're selling themselves, right, or what they're repeating, or what they're giving out. You know,
Exactly.
you need to take ownership and responsibility of that too.
that's it. You are yourself, Gav, and that's it. And what I say, I'll stand and fall by it. You know what I mean? I fall more often than not, but it's me. It's only
We all make mistakes, eh?
That's why there's no-
Nobody's infallible, so
That's why there's no family, no group, no unity, no whatever. I'm unified with you guys here at the moment because we're talking on the same level. But as regards to let's all throw a few quid in and fucking buy a caravan and all that, that's where all the shit starts. Somebody now is walking around with dough from these type of things. You know what I mean? Somebody's had a decent fucking Christmas on the back of, ordinary people. Misplaced stuff. It is what it is. It's taking good people for a ride.
Exactly. Exactly, mate. Exactly. So,
But he'll be back. That Russian Vids, he'll be on the non-secretary show, palling up to them.
whatever.
There's no in that stuff. He'll be on Pat's Got Spuds, Pat's Got Hot Potatoes. He'll be on Mark Sargent. I mean, what happened to him?
Right.
That Robbie Bitcoin fella who runs the conferences, he's earning shitloads of money, brings some idiot in, and Mark Sargent gets his nose pushed out, and there's no reason behind it. It's all ego.
Yep.
Absolutely no substance to any of it,
No.
apart from, who's getting paid, what's my slot, how long have I got to speak,
Yep.
what's the room like. They're all getting flown all over the world, these fellas, in a little gang, with
Yep.
a clique. And I was amazed. I mean, you should know by his background that Robbie Davidson, one of the biggest frauds going. I'll say that, and I'll say it loud and proud, because he is. And the thing is, with all that stuff, what galls me, is every single question on these panels, it's all about the Bible.
Yeah. No.
There's no objective.
Again, the problem is, Frank, it's like I defend anybody's right to represent themselves and they offer their product. And again, the problem is people putting their attention to it. So I'm not really interested in drawing attention to these people. They can get up to whatever they like. They're of no relevance to me and they shouldn't be of any relevance to anybody else. Unfortunately, you're always going to get charlatans and people fucking hanging off coattails, and there's nothing I can do about that. I can only be me, and you can only be you, Gav can only be him, and each is their own place to be who we are, So let them go on with it. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to change anything,
I think that's right, but I think that at some stage they need to be engaged and they need to be brought to task, because the likes of us who are strong in self-will and know ourselves.
Yeah.
If we need to move forward in the end, these people will need confronting.
Well, that's a big,
I think we know. Everybody knows we've got them jumping through hoops and dancing, right? I mean, that's why they're here, right?
Yeah.
because they know the message is not good for them, right?
That's the thing, aye, and I agree with you, Frank. But it's got to be done in regards to their walk. It can't be empty. We have to be, focusing on what, as you were pointing at, what they're offering, what's their content, what does it mean, what are the implications of their content. Are they just making money out of it? Is it progress? I mean, that's all good, but they aim at a personal level, who they are, it's got nothing to do with it. I couldn't care less.
Well, you let have it straight then that this is our walk, my walk, your walk, and these fellas will get in front of us and they'll be walked all over eventually.
Well, that's
just
it.
walk straight through them. That's
exactly.
the way
Because that's it. I can only focus on me and keep walking my walk, and that's where my focus is to be. No on Russian Vads or any of these other characters. My attention would be misplaced then. My attention has to be on me and what I see is important, and pursue that. And it's the same for everybody else. If people are aligned with a commonality and they pursue it off their own back, then things will happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go off now, but just before I go, Gav, I really enjoy the stuff you do. The philosophers stuff and bringing into the spotlight people the way they thought and how, like the trivia stuff, and your man from Edinburgh, the philosophy guy, who was a bit of a black sheep. He didn't like him because he what was his name? The guy you were talking about a couple of months ago.
Thomas Reid.
Thomas Reid. Man, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah, but he wasn't liked in his day, was he? He was a maverick, shall we say? But the stuff that he spoke and the stuff that you shared with us, I love that stuff, and I think, and I'm not asking for anything, but I think when we do that stuff on here, it's 10 times better. It rises above the level we are now, arguing with P. Mars and stuff like that. And I know we're all push for time.
I know which one I'd rather be doing this for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I know you push for time and that, and it's. But the thing is, that stuff is more welcome for me than I can sit here all day and take the piss out of everyone. That's what we do. But I've actually learned a lot of stuff on this channel through yourself and through Del. And that's where we thrive, I think, is when we share the knowledge.
Yep.
Instead of sharing, what we already know about dickheads, sharing the knowledge and passing it on.
That's it. I know, Frank, but it's an open platform. When it's an open platform, we can't help the dickheads appearing. If, as Gav says, it's not my choice. I'd rather it just wasn't happening, but they keep bringing themselves. There's really nothing we can do about it, mate. So I've just.
You learn a lot from that too, right?
Exactly.
The way they behave, and you learn a lot about yourself as well. So
you've got to remember as well, Frank, there's always new people appearing, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like dedicate it all to that, but if you can shut the chat down, not the chat, if you can shut the panel down and bring a bit more of that stuff. This is me on a personal level. I really enjoy. I mean, I could listen to Gav all night. You know what I mean? And the stuff that he brings to the table, it's blown me away a lot of times. So I just want to thank the pair of you for that anyway, before I go. So anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cool.
No,
all right. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, man.
Aye, my man, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
I think I'll knock on the head as well.
Aye, me too, mate. Me too. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, same back. So
cool.
Decent. See everybody.
Take it easy, mate.
Bye.
Right, again, thanks, people. Mods, as always, much appreciated. See you very soon. I'm probably going to be going out and doing some interview stuff tomorrow. And I don't really bother with New Year so much. I'm not a drinker and I can't be bothered with that kind of culture. So they maybe find that I'll be on live tomorrow evening at some point. I'll open up and have some chin wags or whatever's going on. So take it easy, people. See you all soon.